everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is basically just a part 2 of my video from yesterday. If you didn't watch it, go watch it, but I basically talk about every single book that I've read in 2023, and this is part 2. So, it's already filmed, I just wanted to film an intro. So, I'll see you guys over in that video. That's not a fantasy. We have this. I guess I didn't read as much fantasy as I thought I did because I only have these books to talk about. I have a couple that I read that were from the library that I had to give back to the library. So I'm going to start with just talking about these ones, and then I'll talk about some of the ones that I remember that I read. Let's talk about Dance of Thieves and Vow of Thieves. I have so much love for these books. The second that I finished the first one, I had to move straight on to the next one, no questions asked. It was like 3 in the morning, and I was like, no, I have to move to the second one. I didn't predict any of the stuff in here. I think I predicted probably one thing, but there were so many twists and turns that even the one little twist I expected didn't end the way that I thought it would. Basically, Casimira is sent by the Queen of Venda, which is a whole different kingdom, to basically, I guess, overtake his government. I don't know how else to explain it. How else do I explain this? It's so difficult to explain fantasy books because you just have to understand the world to understand what I'm talking about. I just think you should go read it, or at least read the summary of these books so you can understand how much I love it. That's basically the whole idea of it. The first book, Cassie and Jace get basically kidnapped. The whole first book is kind of they're on a mission to get back to his kingdom without dying or getting kidnapped again. And this whole book gave more, I guess, backstory while still happening after this. I don't know how to explain it. So go read these books if you haven't already. I think that next I should talk about one that I just recently read, which is The Kiss of Deception. This isn't a whole series. I only read the first book because I haven't been able to get my hands on the second or third or fourth or whatever the frick. It is by the same author and it takes place in the same world as these two, so I had to read it. It's basically about a princess who has an arranged marriage, but she escapes the kingdom and leaves her whole life behind right before getting married because she doesn't want to have an arranged marriage. And then there is an assassin who is sent out to kill her, and then there's also a person she was about to marry from a different kingdom who is now going to try to find her. When they both find her at the same time, and then it's kind of a love triangle. She doesn't know who to trust, and none of them can say who they really are. I thought it was really interesting. And the ending to the book was like so good, and it didn't technically leave me on a cliffhanger. If you find anything from these fantasy reads, dive into this world. There's just so much that goes on in the world that I just love. Okay, the last fantasy read that I read this year but I haven't finished is The Assassin's Blade. This is basically 4 novellas, I believe, and it's by Sarah J. Maas. This is in the Throne of Glass series, which is a really long series, but I decided to start it finally. I'm not very far through, as you can tell, but this is just novellas that are getting you set up for the whole Throne of Glass series. I haven't even really read what the Throne of Glass series is about. I think I'd rather go in blind, so I just wanted to show this book real quick and tell you I'm reading the Throne of Glass series, but I don't think that I can say much else. These are the 3 mystery books that I read. We're gonna start with Then She Was Gone by Lisa Jewell. This one, oh my god. I didn't expect it. It was so weird. Like, I don't know, you've probably heard about this book everywhere by now, so I don't feel like I need to really give it an introduction, but if it needs one, here you go. Here it is. I'll explain. Basically, this whole book follows a girl named Laurel, which is the mother of Ellie. Now, Ellie disappeared 10 years ago, nowhere to be found without a trace, so Laurel's obviously shaken up by that, and also still trying to find her daughter. Then she meets a guy named Floyd who has 2 daughters. His daughter Poppy looks exactly like Ellie, so that sends Laurel more down into a rabbit hole trying to figure out exactly what happened to her daughter and why does this girl look exactly like her daughter. This book wasn't what I was expecting it would be. The ending was totally like left field, but then when you read the ending, it made sense. I liked it. I really did enjoy this book. Okay, the next two I'm going to talk about quickly because they don't necessarily hold any significance in my heart. Like, I don't think about these books often, but I was in my thriller phase because of Then She Was Gone, and I was like, I have to keep going. I'm going to start with The Couple Next Door. It follows Anne and Marco, who have a little baby named Cora. They go to their next door neighbor's house for a little dinner, and they leave their daughter at home, but when they get back home, their daughter's gone. Now this is weird because they were just next door. How did they not hear anything? How did they not see anything? It's really interesting because it shows more of not just like where did the daughter go, what happened, but it shows a lot of like Anne and Marco coping with their feelings. Really, really, really good. This next one is Not If I Save You First by Allie Carter. I actually just got this from a library book sale. So I haven't seen anyone else talk about this book, but I was like, kind of seems interesting. I'm just gonna try it. I really did enjoy this book. It was just a few little parts where like, okay, what? This follows Maddie and Logan, who used to be best friends, and basically Logan's dad is the president and Maddie's dad is a Secret Service agent. So then something happens where Maddie's dad gets, I believe he just gets wounded, and then he has to basically cut off all ties from everything. So Maddie and her dad start living in the woods of Alaska. So then he gets sent to stay with Maddie and her dad. And I have to find out what happened between Maddie and Logan and why they aren't friends anymore. But also, Logan gets kidnapped. So when Logan gets kidnapped, Maddie kind of has to go on a whole voyage at that point. Try to find out where he is, what happened, why. And last but not least, I want to say thank you so much for watching this video. I know it's a little different because I don't really post book content at all on this main channel, but I thought, one, it's Vlogmas, I just need to get a video out, and two, I could talk about books for hours on end, and I basically have at this point. I hope this helped you like books a little bit more, or just like books in general. And you're watching this, thank you, first of all, for clicking on this video. Okay, thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys so soon.